What up, BIMSies, and welcome back to BIMS TV, your go-to destination for science education. My name is Hassan, and I'll be your host. Now, have you ever wondered about where your food comes from, or like how a particular food got discovered? Well, you wouldn't be the only one. From apples to oranges, every food has its story. But there's one food in particular that has an incredible story. A food so important that indigenous Americans used to farm and ate billions of them. And Jay-Z said he likes to eat them on the half shell while sipping Mai Tais. Today on BIMS TV, we're talking about oysters. Oysters hold a special place in human history. Dating back to the Paleolithic, in Africa, our Stone Age ancestors left behind cave paintings and piles of shells that date back over 160,000 years in caves along the coast. From Japan to America, they were revered and seen as important staples of many diets. The amount of oysters some ate was staggering, with piles of shells containing billions of oysters rising over 30 feet into the air. Oysters haven't just been enjoyed for their taste, but also their cultural significance. From ancient Romans indulging in oyster feasts to the iconic Parisian street vendors selling them raw in the half shell, oysters have graced the tables across the globe. In many cultures, they're seen as a symbol of love with a long history featured in folklore and mythology. But oysters have a particularly interesting story here in the Chesapeake Bay. For millennia, Native American cultures have actually farmed and harvested oysters here. Not just that, they have been the cornerstone of the economy and have enabled this area in particular to really boom. But by the late 18th century, Europeans had gained a taste for oysters. The unique salinity levels were perfect for cultivating a specific type of oyster prized for its plump size and briny flavor. These Chesapeake Bay oysters became a national delicacy and were shipped all over the country by train. Now, since we're talking cuisine, oysters are more than just a delicacy. They're good fried, grilled, and on the half shell. They are quintessentially a culinary art form. And speaking of which, I got the artist himself, Yo Q.
What's going on, brother?
What it do?
How you feeling?
I got Chef Q in the house, and he's going to break it down for us about everything has to do with oysters. So Q, break it down for us.
I got you, brother. So look, today we have our oysters cooked 3 ways.
Okay.
First, of course, the traditional shuck raw oyster. I have an oyster Rockefeller that's cooking on the grill right now for you, so you know, definitely got that for you. And lastly, we'll do an oyster po' boy.
Hey, I need that. Because Q, I'm a little hungry, so you know I need to get in on that.
Hey, we got you. That's what I do. All right, but first, we want to start off by doing shucking some oysters. So let's shuck it.
All right, let's get to it.
We got our oysters here. So what I'll do is show you a little technique called shucking. So let's get into it right here. Basically what you want to do is get on the back end of your oyster here, use your tool, find that crevice, crack in there. And it's really simple. Once you get in there, just wedge your way in, turn to the side, and then pop it up, and then you're good to go. And what you want to do is scoop that oyster out and disconnect it. And once you've done that there, have your freshly shucked oyster. So here, we got our oyster Rockefeller cooking up for you. So as you can see, we have our garlic creme at the bottom. We have our oyster, a little bit of Parmesan cheese melting on top.
Okay.
There we go. So you know we got to finish it off right.
All right.
So here we got a little bit of kale that we'll put right on top. We'll give it a little bit of color.
Mm-hmm.
See, what we have is locally grown purple kale.
As it should be.
Indeed, indeed.
Yo, and I know y'all can't smell this right now, but the smell is incredible.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And so what we'll do is let that cook down a little bit, but we'll garnish it with a little bit of breadcrumbs. And we butter these down with a little bit of butter, thyme, and rosemary.
Okay, got them buttered down.
There you go. That's the only way to do it. We put that right on top. Now you can do this as much as you want. You got a little bit of breadcrumbs, but you know how we get down. We got to load it up.
Wow. It's looking good, man.
You know, I got you. So, you know, the last thing we want to do is always finish that off with a little bit of lemon juice.
Okay. Woo.
You hear that?
That sizzled action.
There you go. That's what you need to hear.
All right.
That's how you know you're doing something right. And me, here I got a little bit of lemon finishing salt that we'll put on top.
Okay.
Do it the
See,
right
this is
way.
why you gotta call Q, man. This is why you always gotta talk to Q.
Indeed, indeed. All right, so I'm gonna take my remoulade, just go with the base right here. Want to get both sides so we can spread that flavor evenly.
I wish y'all could feel how hungry I am right now.
So then you want to take our lettuce here, our locally grown lettuce that we have, fresh from the farmer's market. Grab that. Then we'll grab our tomato, put our lettuce down, then we'll have our tomato that go right on the base of that. And then we'll just start loading up our oysters.
All right. Got that joint loaded up, right? Ooh.
Boom. And like I said before, you always want to finish off with a little bit of lemon juice.
Hey, there it is.
So we all finished up cooking. We got everything here for us ready to throw down. So, you know, there's
Time to eat?
one thing left to do.
Don't gotta tell me
Do
twice.
your thing you enjoy, bro.
Put a little Tabasco on there.
Come on, that's only right. It's only right.
All right, y'all ready for this?
Let me know what you think, big dog.
Ooh. My mama better watch out. Wow, that's actually really good
There
though.
you go. I appreciate it.
What's that white sauce called again?
So we have a garlic aioli at the bottom, and then on the top, you have that Cajun remoulade that's right on top. So you have a
So good.
compounded flavors. That's what cooking's all about. You know, you need a little bit of this, a little bit of that, develop those flavors, and you good.
Man, and that fresh tomato and the fresh lettuce is really standing out, but the oysters are definitely the star of this show, man. You did your thing.
I appreciate it.
I gotta go in for one more.
Do your thing, man. That's all yours. See, we got other food to get to, man, you know? So I think it's only right that we both toast it up to a great time, and we have our
Yes, sir.
Rockefeller.
A toast to conservation,
There you go.
a toast to oysters,
Indeed.
and a toast to the bay.
For sure.
Hold up. That Parmesan cheese.
Just right.
Look, y'all, the Clean Shell Club. Yo, that joint is hitting.
Appreciate you.
So, Q, let's have a seat.
For sure.
Cause I gotta talk to you about something, man, cause this joint is hitting too good.
Let's do it.
So Q, you gotta tell me, as a chef, right? What makes oysters so much fun to work with?
Oh, man. Now, you say fun, but it also can be not too much fun because depending on how you're dealing with them, because, you know, a lot of people shucking oysters all day. That's no fun, but it's definitely a learning. It's a, you know, it's kind of an experience in itself.
Yeah.
So we all have to go through it. We
Yeah.
all done it. We all go through it. But honestly, what I love about oysters is it's just a natural taste of the sea. It's really, you can crack them open, and then you get that fresh saltwater taste. It's really an acquired taste. Some people like it, some people don't. But I feel like as you get older and your taste grows,
Yeah.
it kind of grows on you. But yeah,
Like Q said, this grown folk food right here. Little kids stay on the porch. This for them adults, all right?
I'm telling you. Bro.
Now, keeping with the same theme, now you were talking to me a little bit off camera about like the history of Oyster Rockefellers, and I thought that was so incredible. Can you talk about that again?
For sure. So it's referring to Rockefeller, who was the richest of his time. And as you said, they're a delicacy. So because of that, the dish was seen as something for the richer or the higher class.
Yeah.
So it was a staple dish back in the day.
High end. I can definitely see why, because this was phenomenal.
For sure.
Now, the last question I want to ask you is more to like tips and tricks on like what should people keep in mind when they are shucking or eating oysters?
Okay. So being that my family is from Portsmouth, the Newport News, Virginia area,
Okay.
so we're very familiar with oysters and seafood. So I kind of grew up that way. Crabs, you know, cooking out on the outside in the backyard. That's kind of how I got down. So as far as shucking oysters and tips and tricks, I mean, if you're frying them, you always want to use a light corn flour And that's really the trip to it. You want to season that flour up really good so you can get a nice sear on it, a nice nice color on it. You can actually tap on the oyster and you can hear if it's a hollow sound, then that means that they're not good. And then if you hear that a nice firm sounding in your oyster,
Almost like a rock.
indeed, then that means they're good to go.
Okay.
So just a couple tips and tricks.
I'll keep that in mind.
For sure.
So Q, where can people keep up with you at?
So you can find me on Instagram at chef_swank. I'm a local chef in the DMV area. So you can, if you need any culinary services, whether that be meal prepping, you have a banquet that you need, or just a personal dining experience, I'm your man.
Yo, and I could tell you first-handedly, this food hit. Thank you so much for joining me on this culinary journey all about oysters. And remember, we can work to protect these very important bivalves. Until next time, BIMSies, we outside! If you enjoyed diving into the world of marine science with BIMS TV, ride the wave. Click the subscribe button and consider making a splash with a donation at blackmarinescience.org. Your support fuels our mission to amplify Black voices in marine science. Subscribe, donate, and ride the tide of inspiration with BIMS TV.